Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling something I know a lot of you have been asking about. This massive wave of updates from August 7th, 2026, regarding the Iraqi dinar and the broader Iraqi economy. If you follow this space at all, you know there's a dizzying amount of information flying around right now. We're talking claims about delayed government salaries, oil exports, US dollar shipments, you name it. So our goal today? We're going to look directly at the source material and impartially separate the confirmed economic facts from the online speculation. We're going to break down these claims one by one and see what the data actually tells us. Okay, let's dive into this. Right now, there is just a huge online buzz about a sudden revaluation, or RV, of the Iraqi dinar. Look across any forum or comment section, and people are absolutely convinced that the currency is on the absolute brink of a massive shift in value. But we have to ask, are these predictions actually grounded in official policy, or are they leaps of logic based on totally unrelated events? Well, that's exactly what we're going to investigate today. Section 1. The Dinar Rumor Mill. Claims versus reality. Let's start things off with a quote from Intel guru Frank26. He says, "There's only one option for monetary reform: raise the exchange rate and add value to the currency." Now, I get it, that sounds incredibly direct. But the economic reality? Monetary reform doesn't automatically mean a massive, sudden spike in an exchange rate. When a country actually reforms its money, it usually means doing things like improving the banking system, tightening financial controls, modernizing payment systems, and managing inflation. Huge structural reforms that improve the economy without just magically handing the currency a huge overnight increase in value. So we really have to treat this statement as an opinion, not an official policy announcement. Then we have a claim from Intel guru Bruce, who points out that foreign exchange rates often appear on bank screens, especially Wednesday or Sunday night. And well, here we see a very distinct pattern in the online community, these constantly moving, quote-unquote, guaranteed dates. I mean, think about it. When someone predicts a Wednesday, and then a Saturday, and then maybe a Sunday, it kind of starts sounding more like a weather forecast than actual monetary policy. Until a recognized financial authority confirms a date, guessing a specific day of the week is purely speculative. Section 2. Financial Pressures, Banking Realities. Now, what's really interesting about this is how real, actual news gets filtered into RV speculation. Newshound gurus Jeff and Sandy Ingram have both pointed out that Iraq is facing a cash shortage, noting heavily that a lot of government workers hadn't received their July salaries. And Sandy is totally right to point out that this ties back to problems exporting oil through the Strait of Hormuz. The reality is the financial pressure on Iraq is an absolutely real issue. The country relies heavily on oil income. But, and here's the critical distinction, a cash shortage from oil disruptions does not automatically mean Iraq is going to revalue its currency. Actually, scratch that. It's more like severe financial pressure and cash shortages typically create deep problems for a government. They certainly don't guarantee an overnight wealth event. We're also seeing claims that extend beyond Iraq. For instance, newshound guru Caproni shared a broad economic opinion that the Vietnamese dong could remain weak just because Vietnam competes with China for manufacturing. Meanwhile, newshound guru Steven detailed this personal plan to test his local bank with two 25,000 dinar notes, basically just to see how they handle it before bringing in bigger amounts. But here's the reality check. Currency values rely on incredibly complex global policies. We're talking inflation, trade, interest rates, economic growth, the whole shebang. Trade competition with China alone simply doesn't determine the future of the dong. And as for an individual's personal test plan at a local bank, well, it's just that, a personal plan. It absolutely does not confirm that banks are secretly prepping for an RV. Here's another fascinating observation. Guru Tom noticed some new money counting equipment at a Chase branch that supported several currencies, but it didn't list the Iraqi dinar. The claim kind of insinuates that this means something highly specific for the dinar's status. But let's look at the reality of the situation. That machine is almost certainly just legitimate, standard banking equipment. Modern currency sorters are built to process all sorts of global notes. So the fact that standard multi-currency equipment lists some currencies and not others, that's literally just standard banking operations. It is in no way evidence of some secret preparation for a sudden exchange rate change. Section 3. Geopolitics and Infrastructure, Global Impacts. Moving beyond just the banks, let's look at the claims from Reset Intelligence regarding US dollar shipments. They point out that Washington previously halted a huge shipment of US cash to Iraq, and then later released around $500 million after Baghdad took some steps involving Iran-backed militias. Now, this is a very real geopolitical and financial story. Washington absolutely uses financial pressure on Iraq to control dollar liquidity and keep sanctioned groups from accessing the U.S. financial system. But interpreting this as proof that Baghdad did exactly what Washington wanted just to trigger an RV, that is a massive leap in logic. So the crucial point is this. U.S. cash shipments are entirely connected to Iraq's banking and dollar liquidity situation. Simply releasing U.S. dollars to Iraq is a completely separate issue from a monetary decision to revalue the Iraqi dinar. They are two entirely different mechanisms. Similarly, Guru Jeff makes the prediction that once the Iraqi government cabinet is fully formed, the exchange rate could change within days. And look, it's totally true that there's a logical connection between political stability and economic reform. You literally need a functioning government to pass laws and approve budgets. But the reality? A completed cabinet does not mandate a sudden revaluation. There is absolutely no economic rule out there stating that finishing government formation automatically triggers an RV on some multi-day timeline. And this brilliantly illustrates the core issue when we look at the Iraq-Turkey Development Road project, which was highlighted by Ment Goat. Iraq and Turkey are indeed working on some incredible long-term cooperation involving trade, transportation, and energy. It's a huge deal. And it's highly positive because it diversifies Iraq's economy away from just oil. But long-term economic development is not the same thing as short-term RV speculation. Building massive infrastructure creates a stronger economy over decades, not an overnight wealth event for currency holders. Section 4. Fact versus speculation, the core issue. It's time to directly address the core logical leap that consistently happens within this online community. When we look at these events, we have to apply absolute economic logic. Delayed government salaries does not automatically mean an RV. U.S. dollar shipments does not automatically mean an RV. New bank machines does not automatically mean an RV. A completed government does not automatically mean an RV, and the development road does not automatically mean an RV. Taking a real event and calling it a guaranteed RV prediction without any actual evidence is exactly where the danger lies. Section 5. The official truth. What to watch. Let's move to and see how this builds into an actionable strategy for you. If these rumors aren't reliable indicators, where should you actually be looking for verified information? Well, the source material is very clear on this. While a lot of these gurus' claims are based on real, observable events, calling them guaranteed RVs is deeply misleading. If you want the official truth, you have to follow official channels. Step 1. Monitor actual announcements directly from Iraq's government. Step 2. Follow the Central Bank of Iraq, specifically watching their banking regulations and foreign exchange rules. And Step 3. Track official, documented exchange rate and policy changes. That is where real, actionable financial information actually comes from. Impartially speaking, the safest and honestly the most logical approach you can take is to meticulously separate the confirmed facts from the predictions. Watch what Iraq actually does. Watch what the central bank actually announces. But above all, do not make financial decisions based on unconfirmed internet predictions from online commentators. The global economy is just incredibly complex, and finding the truth requires patience and, frankly, a strict demand for official evidence. So I'll leave you with this final thought to ponder as you navigate this space. Moving forward, will you let verifiable facts or internet rumors guide your financial decisions? Stay informed, stay skeptical, and keep learning. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer.